Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. Today I am here with a review of one of my recently completed diamond painting kits, and I really love doing these. Some people call them post reviews, like post completion reviews, because it's a chance for me to get to show you, okay, here is what a diamond painting looks like completed from a given company, and everything I share with you guys is just purely my own experience. It's, you know, a lot of it is very subjective, and I do try to be as objective as I can in these and just give you a sense for, okay, here are the different things that these companies have to offer, and if it ticks the boxes of what you're looking for in a diamond painting, then perfect, here you go. I do have a whole playlist dedicated to reviews I've done of my many completed diamond painting kits if you'd like to see if there are particular shops that I've reviewed, which I do try to review a variety of diamond painting shops just across the board, because there are a lot out there, especially now. I will link to that playlist below. Feel free to go and take a look, and hopefully you find something you love and discover some new shops you hadn't heard of before. Speaking of new shops, you guys, I'm really excited today to have a completed diamond painting kit from a really new shop in the community. The shop is called Diamond Artisan, or Diamond Artisan Shop, and they just opened a few months ago, and I really adored so much of the artwork that they launched with, and I decided to grab one right away and start working on it right away. And what I was hearing from you guys was that you were really excited to see one of these kits completed. So I will say that just, you know, the process of like ordering and getting the kit in and the packaging and everything was all great, especially for a brand new shop. I was really happy with it. The piece that I chose to start out with is called Sweet Dreams, and it's by the artist Elora Pautrat, or on Instagram, her handle is Oakita, which I'll link to the artist's Instagram below in case you want to go and take a look at their artwork. I do have my logbook here, which is where I track any diamond paintings that I've actually worked on, and I just take notes, even just, you know, the stats of a diamond painting, you know, what number finish it is, and any kind of like notes or thoughts on my experience. Here's the original artwork, by the way. It's very soft and dreamy. When I did the unboxing of this kit, I described this as having lo-fi vibes. And then I had a lot of people asking, what is lo-fi? What does that mean? And I was trying to Google and find a way to describe it, and I just couldn't really find a good way to put it into words. I was like, well, you just kind of know when you see it. It has to do with, I think, some of the colors that are used and sort of this like calm, serene feeling. Usually hear lo-fi when it comes to describing a style of music. That's a lot easier to identify, I think. But anyway, this kit is 43 by 60 centimeters and has round diamonds and had 43 colors in total. It just took me it was a couple of weeks to work on, but I was working on other kits at the same time because I started at the end of August going into September, and I host an event called Drills and Chills that's like a Halloween and fall themed event in September and October, and I wanted to start on some of those kind of event themed kits right away too, but I didn't want to neglect this one either. So I really liked that they had some of these smaller diamond painting kits available. I mean, relatively smaller. A lot of companies have these really big kits right now, like 60 by 80, 70 by 90. And especially when I'm trying out a brand new shop, I like when I can get a little bit smaller kit with round diamonds, because then it's like, okay, this is a good tester, but I'm not having to invest a ton of time and money into it as well. I'm not remembering off the top of my head what the price point for this one was, but I found it to be really consistent and reasonable with like what other small shops are pricing their kits at a similar size point of. So some of the features, it has this kind of short lint, soft lint canvas that we're seeing with a lot of small shops right now. Initially, when I was working on it, it looked like it might not want to lay totally flat, like it was wanting to kind of hold some of the waves a little bit, but now that it has diamonds on it, it's perfectly flat. It's totally fine. I don't have any complaints about the canvas material whatsoever. They use port glue on their canvases, and the round drills on this kit, I believe, were acrylic, but they have since switched to resin. So that is one thing that I definitely want to note. And that's going to come into play in a little bit when I talk about just some of my thoughts and my experience of working on this kit. But I want to make sure I mention that I believe that if you're ordering this kit now, it's going to come with resin round drills, which I think are going to solve some of the hiccups that I ran into. I thought the color count was really nice for this size of kit as well. And it did come with some ABs charted. We have this purple AB. Oh, I'm so sorry that I bumped you. We had a purple AB. We had, let me see. We had 2 shades of purple ABs. There's kind of a lavender purple AB you can see there, kind of pinkish purple almost. There was a yellow one as well. Yeah, there you go. We did have a yellow AB too. I think those were our... Oh, do we have white ABs too? Let me pull out the diamonds. 2 purples, a pink, and a yellow. Here we go. Speaking of the diamonds, I did have plenty left over in all colors. Here we have 3 of our ABs, these 3, and then this one. I did not have any complaints about the symbols that they used. They were really clear and easy to read on the canvas. None that were too similar to one another. The M and the N maybe were a tiny bit similar, but like not really. Like it didn't even really occur to me. So I think that was really fine. No trouble with that at all. But yeah, it was nice that they gave plenty extra, and the colors were just so happy. Honestly, one of the things that drew me to this artwork was just these really serene and gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And I love the artwork. I love the cat that we have down here. And we have like our little Totoro and some pretty plants and whatnot. The whole vibe was really nice, and it was enjoyable to work on. There was a decent amount of color blocking in a lot of areas. Color blocking is when you have a lot of the same color in small sections. So for example, this blue window frame or door frame here, I was able to color block my way through there. This dark background was color blocked as well. And so there were some other areas that were like that, even down in the bottom. And so it was nice. It did move along pretty quickly. I was able to multi-place. And I love that it's licensed artwork. That's really important to me, that the artwork that I'm working on from a shop is legally licensed. That means the artist has both given permission for the use of their artwork and is being fairly compensated for it as well. And I love supporting small shops. So a couple of things I want to point out, and these are things that I think are going to be really subjective and based on your own personal preference. As you're looking at this, kind of look at how it's rendered. And you can see that it is it's a soft rendering, I think is how I would describe it. There's not a lot of like really cut and dry clean lines in a lot of areas. I'm looking in, here, kind of what's going on the table and with the plants and whatnot. And even some of these areas with like the lines and such. And the garland as well. It's soft, which some of that comes just with the size of it. And this is one of those things that'll be really personal preference. A lot of people really enjoy a very soft rendering like this and feel that it brings the diamond painting version of a piece really close to the original artwork. And some people prefer a little bit cleaner and crisper rendering where someone has, a human being has gone and kind of hand tweaked some of this. I don't know for sure whether or not this was computer charted or had any hand charting done or a combination of both. But I just am noticing that it looks like a relatively soft rendering. And here's the original artwork for comparison, which is a bit soft as far as artwork goes, but it does have some, some other clean lines too in some areas. So it's interesting. You can see where they did build in like the lens flare that's in the artwork. That's like right here. This kind of like lens flare as well as down here at the bottom. And so that's cute. Oh, what did I just drop on there? Sorry. That was totally me. Something that stuck to the bottom of my journal there. So yeah, that's going to be completely personal preference, whether or not you enjoy this sort of softer rendering or you prefer kind of more clean and crisp lines. One other thing that I ran into, and I wonder if this is the sort of thing that's going to be solved with resin rounds, because I think that may just change the shape just a little bit. But I did run into... this was tricky, and I ran into it throughout, whether or not I was single placing or multi-placing. Let me find a good spot to show you. There were areas where it was as though if I didn't place really, really, really perfectly, and even then sometimes it felt like I wanted to shift, if I didn't place just perfectly, sometimes the symbols would want to stick out around the diamonds. I did go back before I filmed and really tried to do a bunch of correction to really get them as close as possible to not showing. You can see it in here, a little black bit sticking out in the corners. That's where the symbol is kind of wanting to peek out just a little bit. And again, I wonder if this may be solved with resin rounds just a little bit. So you have to take this with that grain of salt. In addition to that, one thing that I did run into, and I'm happy to hear that it sounds like this has already been addressed, is that I did run into some issues with these diamonds having bits of extra at the base of the diamond. So there was actually one I just saw on the canvas. I want to show you where it's placed because it'll actually be a good demo of why this might be problematic if you were to place a lot of this sort of diamond. Let me see if I can find it. Of course now it doesn't want to stick out to my eye. I might have to pause you and hunt for it. Yeah. So as it turns out, I did place one of these on the canvas. There may be others as well, but if you take a look at this diamond right above my finger, and you see how there is that bit of extra around the base, I did run into that a fair amount with a number of different colors in this kit. And why this is a problem is because it takes up too much space and pushes up against the diamonds around it. And one of these, just here and there is, I can make it work. Like obviously it did here, but I was having to pick around that in a few colors, especially some of these lighter colors. And ultimately that would have been that it was just a little bit of a pain to have to pick around. But keep in mind, like I said, I did have plenty. I had plenty of diamonds left over. And so it wasn't as though I was forced to use bad drills. And like I said, it sounds like this has already been addressed because a Diamond Artisan shop has made a point of saying we've switched to resin rounds. And these, I believe, are then acrylic. And sometimes acrylic can be a little bit problematic. Not always, it just kind of depends. But I actually really, really appreciate and totally support a small shop that is going to immediately try to correct if there is an issue. Like that speaks a ton, I think, to a shop's ethics and how they're going to handle potential like customer service or quality issues. And so I'm all about that, and I'm really stoked that they've already made that switch. So the concerns or the challenges that I just described and showed to you guys, I just want to say again that those come with a big asterisk on them because there has been a change in the drill material that is going to be used. So what I'm probably going to do is, because genuinely I had a really positive experience with this shop, and they've actually released some more kits that the artwork is really, really catching my eye and calling my name. I'm probably going to just, buy another kit and see what my experience is like with those drills, and then I'll be able to kind of share an updated review with you. So for the moment though, I was happy with the experience of working on this, and I hope that this review just kind of gives you a sense for, okay, here's what this shop has to offer. Here's what some of their features are as far as the canvas goes and the rendering style and the artwork that they offer. I know that they have a few different pieces by this specific artist, Elora Pautrat, and just really dreamy colors that are just relaxing to work on. And so I would highly suggest, if you're liking kind of the vibe of what you're seeing and the features and I guess some of the strengths that I feel like the shop has to offer, please go and take a look at what kits they have in their store, because I think you might have a really nice experience too, especially if what you're seeing seems like it's right up your alley. But anyway, I think that about covers it. This again was Sweet Dreams from Diamond Artisan shop, and the artist Elora Pautrat, and was my first kit that I've bought and completed from them, but I definitely am planning to purchase from them and work on kits from them again, because like I said, I had a really nice experience. So I will link to their their Instagram, the artist's Instagram. I'll link to this specific kit, though it may be out of stock. It's been selling out quickly when it's been restocked, but be sure to take a look at the other diamond paintings that Diamond Artisan has to offer. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and enjoyable for you guys. Don't forget to take a look at the post review playlist that I have if you want to see some other reviews of other completed diamond paintings. And feel free to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all of my diamond painting content. I'd love to have you here. So anyway, I hope you have a day that is as amazing as you are, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.